This is me. My name is Tijn from the Dikkenberg. I'm 18 years old. I grew up on a little farm in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in the Netherlands. I grew up with both my parents, my brother and sister. I was a happy little kid. There was nothing that bothered me much. I liked hanging out with my friends, going on hikes, and riding my bike around the property. I've always had parents that supported me to do what I most enjoyed. I've always had lots of freedom and I'm very grateful growing up on a farm. One of my favorite memories is my father actually teaching me how to ride a bike and the first real sense of freedom it gave me. I asked my dad Henk recently about how he feels about freedom. To him, freedom is being able to go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do without any limitations. He said he felt most free traveling with the family, exploring new corners of the world, and finding new places. He didn't have much freedom when he was younger. His dad always had clear expectations. He wanted Henk to make money by becoming a businessman. That's why he chose to study what he did. He always felt a lot of pressure from his dad to do well in school and get a job aimed at getting the most money. Raising us, he didn't want to put any pressure on us. He didn't want us to get the child that he had. So he always made sure to give us lots of freedom to pursue our interest, to do what we were interested in, the opposite of his dad. I've always felt his support, although it wasn't always easy for him to let go of what he was raised to believe. So when my mom suggested that we should move to Bali to break the routine of our lives in Holland, my father actually saw it as an opportunity to stop living in the expectations of his dad. So he let someone else manage his real estate business, and the next year we boarded a flight to Bali. From the moment I arrived in Bali, I was shocked by all the motorbikes, and yet I couldn't wait to start driving myself. The memory I have of the first time driving a motorbike in Bali, I remember feeling so free and that I could go anywhere I wanted. I loved driving through the peaceful rice fields as well as the chaotic roads in Denpasar. I loved that freedom now meant that I didn't have to rely on anyone to get places. So if you fast forward, after 2 years of driving motorbikes on the island of the gods, I wanted to understand how they worked. So I bought a small motorbike to take apart and reassemble, and I quickly got to work. This project turned out to be a lot more fun than I would have thought. I loved riding them, but I'd never expect to want to work on motorbikes, let alone enjoy it so much. After not taking one, but 2 small motorbikes apart, I wanted to go even bigger. I wanted to understand more complex motorbikes. I wanted to build a custom motorcycle. I had found the perfect bike to customize, and I was all ready to get started. But then suddenly everything changed when the COVID-19 pandemic struck. Quickly our family decided to return back to the Netherlands, and my project was put on hold. I was concerned mostly because I had chosen this project to be the basis of my Greenstone. This is a BMW R87, an 800cc 4-stroke road motorcycle made by BMW. My dad bought this bike when he was 21 and has been attached to it ever since. With this motorcycle, he felt a new kind of freedom, being able to go anywhere he wanted to go, leaving behind all expectations. He would go on the trips all over Europe. When I was a kid, I would always look up to him when he drove his BMW. I was always convinced that I was going to be like him one day, sitting in the saddle and feeling the freedom. As soon as we landed back in the Netherlands, he admitted that it was finally time for him to let go of his beloved BMW. So as soon as I bought it from him, we were both excited. Him because he loved seeing me start new projects, and I because a childhood dream was coming true, and my Greenstone was saved. I transformed a shipping container into my garage, where I could work on the bike every day. I didn't waste any time, and got to work pulling my motorbike apart. Every day that I open those doors and see my BMW in the shipping container, I get excited. Excited to tackle the next problem. Sandblasting, engine build, painting. Every day is a new challenge. challenge. It's just about starting something. In fact, since starting this project, I've learned that it's also not being attached to the outcome, that anything can happen at any moment. As I'm pulling apart my motorbike, I've been thinking a lot about freedom, about what freedom means to me. I've always felt that motorbikes and freedom are connected, but I could never answer why. I realized motorbikes are an escape, but from what? I've never found expressing my emotions easy, other than the happy ones. I'd rather just be the happy guy, bring up the mood everywhere I go, with friends, and especially at home. I like to keep things easy. I would rather not deal with any anger or any negative emotions. I've gotten really good at always coming up with reasons that they don't matter. Anytime I feel any negative emotions, I just hop on a motorbike and go for a ride. Get my brain organized, take space, just think. And I always return as a happy guy. The part of me I feel I should be. I asked one of my best friends what freedom means to him, and he said, "Freedom becomes more important the older you get. It's one of life's greatest learning curves. It is important, especially to young people, because it allows them to grow into a better person. It's important to me because having freedom has led me into my passions." That is something I really resonate with. Freedom has a massive learning curve. Having it when you're young can lead you to doing things you love, but it can be the difference between making a living pursuing your passion, working a 9 to 5 in a cubicle, or going into business to please your father. When I think about it, I'm so grateful that my parents always supported me and gave me the encouragement to doing things I love. That's how I found my passion for filmmaking. I started filmmaking when I was 7, making little goofy videos with my friends. As my filmmaking progressed, I started to get a little recognition. Requests began to come in from the community and people that I knew for me to make videos. The freedom to make films has gotten me further in life than anything else yet. I'm only 18 and I can't believe that I've already been given the opportunity to shoot commercials and short documentaries in Jordan and India. I'm so grateful for those experiences, what I've learned along the way, and cannot wait to get out in the world and make more films. Coming back to emotions, I realized that filmmaking has been the main way that I've felt comfortable to express myself. Having full creative control with film has always something I really value. Hours and hours editing, moving things around until the message is right. This might be why filmmaking is so important to me. But people, family, teachers have always asked me, why filmmaking? What about filmmaking is it that you like so much? And I could never really answer why. Until now. You heard? I found my why. It's a safe outlet for my emotions. As I'm pulling apart the bike, I see that I'm pulling apart myself too. Seeing what part does what and which part affect the others. Working on motorcycles has given me a lot of time to think. Before I started thinking so much about freedom, I had always just taken it for granted. But now I'm figuring out it means so much more to me. It's a big part of my life. Freedom to do what I love doing most, to make my own decisions and to follow my passion. But I also need freedom to escape, to reflect on my emotions, and to see that it's okay to not always be the happy guy. Freedom is also freedom to be vulnerable. A lot of adolescent boys don't show their emotions because they're supposed to be a man. Society taught us not to cry, to toughen up. As part of my research, I watched a documentary called The Mask You Live In. It's about adolescent boys don't being able to show their emotions and the long-term effects that has on their mental health, ending up in aggression, depression, or even suicide. The film opened my eyes as I related to some of it. I noticed that I wear my mask quite often. It's the easiest thing to do. It's taking the easy route. I tell myself that my emotions don't matter, but I show up as the happy guy and keep the mood up for everyone. But if I'm telling myself that my emotions don't matter, I'm also saying that I don't matter. Now that I have a clear understanding of what freedom means to me, the opportunity to be more vulnerable in revealing my truth and emotions, I can change the way I deal with it. Maybe from here, I'll take another route to find new ways, learning to not always take the easy one, to see the value of new challenges along the way. Up until now, my way of dealing with negative emotions has been to escape and control situations. My default has been to retreat and get my thoughts in order, but I've never been able to fully take off my mask. That is something I need to learn. This isn't going to be something that happens overnight. I need to work on this for the next few months, or even years, seeing what works and what doesn't. As I put the last few pieces of this BMW together, I am aware of how many more pieces I am made of. The next challenge ahead of me is to buy a van and live in it for a year, traveling around another corner of the world, enjoying the type of freedom that both my father and I value so much. This has been a dream of mine since I was 7 years old, and as usual, I have my parents' full encouragement. Traveling alone is going to give me a lot of time with just me, where I don't wear the mask at all. This time, I won't be escaping, and I won't need to get my thoughts in order. I'll be getting myself back in a new way. It'll give me a lot of time to reflect and embrace more of my emotions, not just the happy, uplifting ones. At the end of this journey down this new road, I hope to arrive at a place where I can embrace my vulnerabilities, be more open with my emotions, and be a true version of myself. I'm aware that I'm going to take this with me for the rest of my life, and I'll keep learning what freedom means to me along the way. Thank you.